Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
So we want to welcome you to part 2 of our last episode of Advice in Southern Tales. And please remember this is for entertainment purposes only. It is not official advice. We're going to talk about when your gas got cut off because that cracks me up.
I kind of hate to bring that up.
Well, nobody knows if the stories we're telling are true or made up.
Well, this one's not made up. This
Okay.
one is real. When I was younger and I was working and I was so busy with children and working and doing everything I do, and I cook 365 days a year, please have some manners. Manners right now. My other children. This is really embarrassing, but one day we had somebody come in our house that was company for a week. That day came home and I was going to light a fire. Well, I always turn my gas on to start the fire and then I turn it off. Well, that day the gas didn't come on. So I was like, no, did I pay my gas bill? Okay, I'm the kind of person that when I get the bill in the mail, I'll put it aside and I'll procrastinate. So evidently I procrastinated a little too long on that one, long enough for it to get cut off. So the first thing I did since I had company was I ran outside and looked at the hot water heater. Thank you, Jesus. It's electric. I'll tell y'all a small scenario of my week. I went and bought heaters from Big Lots because I had no heat and it was winter time. Look, I'm not that person that don't pay my bills. I do, but I just overlooked it. I'm real.
It's
It
the
just
ADHD
happened.
devil. I know.
And when my husband would go to bed at night, because that was my responsibility to pay the gas bill, I forgot maybe 2 or 3 times, and I plugged him up. I would wait till he went to bed every night, and then I would plug him up to let the house get warm. And I would go as far as turn the auto unit on fan so it would hum so he thought the heat was on. Then every morning before he got up, I would go around and unplug the heaters so that he didn't know nothing of that was going on. And then when I cooked supper that night, I would cook everything in the microwave or the grill, and then I would throw it in a boiler and put the top on it on the gas burners and make it look like I had cooked it all on the gas burners. I did that for a whole week, and then the end of this story is they were going to come and hook it back up. They said, but we're going to need somebody there that's 18 years and older. Well, both my kids worked. I worked. My husband was in the house and he worked, but I didn't want him to let him know that he had to sign. So I told my 88-year-old neighbor across the street, I said, you got to watch all day in your window. She may be 85, and let me tell you, by being around her, she seems like she's 55. She does not seem like her age. I told her, I said, you got to sit in your window all day and watch for the gas truck. When it gets over there, run across the street, sign that paper, and then they going to hook me back up. And she did. The end of our session on this, my advice of this thing would be your gas bill.
Absolutely. I bet that was a long week.
It was horrible. It's embarrassing that I even did that. It's funny now because you know what? The older you get, the more you think, it's okay. It can be fixed in 30 minutes, like we said.
30 seconds. You couldn't get your gas turned back on in 30 seconds.
No, it took the longest week of my life.
Well, it's in the big scheme of things, looking back, it's all good.
I look like I aged 10 years that week.
Looking back, it was a bump in the road.
The bump in the road.
Same thing with me and my son learning to drive. So he didn't want to drive. He turned 16 or 15 when he could get his permit, and he didn't want to drive. Now, on the other hand, me, I was driving before I had my permit.
We drove at 12 and 13.
Yes, they would go to the grocery store and get some milk.
You'd look for if the cops were coming, we'd just turn down the side road.
My eyes could barely see over the steering wheel.
I looked between the steering wheel and the dash.
We were the opposite. A lot of kids today, they're not interested in driving.
Oh, I couldn't wait to get there.
Couldn't wait.
Burned up the clutch on my first car taking my driving test because they took us on Thrill Hill to pass the test. And I got up on that hill and I was like, and then I went over the hill and I passed my test.
Well,
I about burned up the clutch.
he wrote a list out because I watched David Letterman every night. He used to have the top 10,
Yeah.
10 reasons I should recognize. Number 1, I could die. Number 2, somebody else could die. I've still got that list somewhere. I don't remember the rest of them, but well, if I had to, I couldn't find it. But it's here in this house. He loved computers at the time, so I got on the computer because he failed it the first time. Then I bought this study guide so I could go over it with him. We practiced every night. Some of the questions would be like, how many DUIs do you have to have before you go to jail? He's like, why is this even important? And I'd go, because it's on the test. Remember it. Finally, after the second time, he passed it. Anyways, he went to take the driving part. I don't even think they require that anymore. He had to go drive. And then they said, do you feel comfortable driving? And he went, not really. And they failed. And I was like, what did you say that? He's like, what did you want me to do? Lie? And I was like, I need you to drive. You don't understand. This is a funny story. At first, he just drove in our little world to school, to church, wherever. He worked. He got a job at McDonald's. Then one day, Eddie's sister showed up unannounced, and Brand had football practice. So I really needed Pate to drive Brand to football practice. I told Pate that you got to drive Brand to football practice, but you better be careful because he's my baby boy. Anyway, Brand was coming out of the house. He's like, Mom, we got to go. I'm like, Pate's going to take you. He's like, okay. He was thinking that'd be fun for his big brother.
Yeah.
Well, even though they didn't look cool, they were in a Suburban. But said, Brand, go ahead and put your helmet on. And I said, put those pads on too, because then that way when you get to football practice, you'll be ready.
You're thinking about him riding in that car with him.
I was thinking if he has a wreck, he might have a better chance of surviving because helmet and shoulder pads. And I don't know if the back seat had the airbags. I know the front seat did.
Let me tell you something. The back seat back then didn't have no airbags.
I don't think it did, but he was safe. All was well. And my life changed for the better when that boy could drive, because then I got him driving the other children. And let me tell you, if your kid doesn't want to drive, you really need to persuade them to drive.
Walker took till 17 till he got his driver's license. Then he had a wreck 2 weeks after he got him. We made it through that. A lot more to say about these stories, but we're leaving them hanging.
I can tell so many stories about my children. And I think they're to the age now where they would laugh about it.
Mothers like us, you know what? Life is real. Right now, as we speak, as we sit here, as we laugh at this, everything is so real. I am the kind of mother that can laugh about my situations that I've been in with my children before. And it's okay. Because you know what? It is.
And a great thing, too, is our children know us for who they are.
Exactly.
Who they are. I said that backwards.
Who we are.
Who we are.
You said dyslexic way.
Right. Yeah. They laugh at us. We laugh at them.
They can critique us if they don't agree because we're okay with them doing that. We're such on a level with understanding each other that we're on the same wavelength. We can critique them, and it's all in a loving kind of way. We still love them.
Right. When I told Catherine Ann we were doing a podcast
of us,
she was like, really? What are y'all gonna...
she's probably thinking like, what are you two going to do?
I remember one night, it was during the COVID. Catherine Ann had just gone to Alabama. She was a freshman. And then after spring break, they had to come home and do the online school. And I was trying to teach mine,
I'd have
but
been in trouble.
well, what had happened was after about 2 Zooms and after I went to the bathroom on the Zoom with all
Yeah,
the people, not the children, but and the
the
audio was on,
teachers.
but the video was on, and my friends were texting me going, "You do know you can see you." Crap. So I just sent an email to the whole school. I hope y'all are laughing at this.
You know what?
Wait. Went down a rabbit hole. But what
Yeah.
I was going to say about Catherine Ann. So she was home. Bran was home.
Rabbit hole.
I told Will to come home because he was in New York City. He didn't even have a balcony. I'm like, you need to come to Mississippi where there's some space and you
Exactly.
breathe and not have to wear that mask. We would build us a fire about 5 o'clock. We got that fire pit
It's
outside.
5 o'clock somewhere all the time.
Wearing in COVID, it was like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do now? Staring. So we would sit out by the fire and roast s'mores. And some of my fondest memories looking back, something good did come out of COVID. And I wasn't doing the teaching online because I made a video and sent it to the parents. I'm like, I'm too old. Okay. Just take your kids to the library and get some books and they'll bring them. You have to order them online. I told them I'd do it. But I'm like, I can't do this Zoom stuff, okay? And so I really acted like I was working, but I wasn't. They started telling me things I didn't even know they had ever done.
I
But
know.
back
Just
to
go old timey.
my reasoning of this rabbit hole gone down. Catherine Ann was sitting out by the fire deep. Her boyfriend had come over and you had called. And I was like, hold on, that's Amanda. I got to get this. Catherine Ann said, Mama,
It's probably
put
like,
her.
why are you answering that?
No, she loves you. She said, Mama, put Miss Amanda on speakerphone so my boyfriend, I'm not going to say his name because she's broke up with him now. Anyway, so my boyfriend can hear Miss Amanda.
So he can sound like he knows I can sing bass.
No, she thinks you're a little bit more country than me. She knows I'm country. She doesn't even have an accent. You remember it? You talked to her boyfriend. He was like, what's your
Yeah, I
name?
do remember that. But I had this customer in my salon not long ago that it was the mother I was working on, but her daughter was, I'll say, 12 years old. And her daughter said, do you know how to sing, Miss Amanda? I
You
said,
said,
no. And she said, everybody that talks country knows they can sing good. I was thinking in my head, girl, I'll show you later, but I ain't gonna show you right now. I wish some way I could figure out hey, I would have a treat for everybody, and it would be a trick or treat, meaning take it as you please. Trick, or it could be a treat. You
oh, yeah.
know, I could trick
We
you
can
in
bring
thinking I know how I sing, or treat being you love the way I sing. If I could figure out how to get my voice singing with so I can hear them and do the melody for y'all, and then y'all could put the music with it, that would be something. I
No.
think it would be good. Hey, I know it wouldn't be worthy of being no country singer or nothing like that, but I just always feel like I've been missing out because my family has always been in gospel quartets and country churches, and I've always been too shy. But the older I get, I don't care because it makes you laugh. Hey, if it makes you laugh, I've done my duty for the day.
Well, it might. It might make people laugh. So we're gonna have a Halloween episode with you singing. So you start.
Okay, I will, but I've got a story to tell about Halloween. I told a lady today, you know what I did? I did it with a group on my salon. I dressed up in my 10th grade majorette outfit and
No,
went over there and twirled the baton. But I took one of the rods off my blinds, the one you turn it to
no,
close it or open it. I took that off the hook and I used that as my baton this year for Halloween. Opened the door to my grandchildren in my 10th grade majorette outfit, and I'll post a picture if I do it. But I'm going to have that twirling in the air and act like I'm twirling my baton just because I like to mess with them because I love doing things like that. They will remember it forever if I do that.
They would love that. I
Do it.
just want to remind you the other night when I was talking about I thought that lady was pregnant because I need cataract surgery. And you said your belly's fat, so I'm going to give you some advice.
Mine is.
Maybe you need to get some Spanx, and Spanx could sponsor us. It'll make you feel better.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
It would make you look
Oh
so.
my goodness. The last time I tried to recreate Spanx, I cut the legs out of my pantyhose and used the control top for Spanx, but it does not work like Spanx. Spanx is the best.
Spanx is the best. That's what I wore when the boys came here. Well, let me tell you, after I did that mother-son dance, I went in the bathroom and I took them suckers off. I felt like I couldn't breathe.
They'll give you a claustrophobic attack in a minute.
I changed my shoes from those high heels that Catherine had got me at Dillard's that I was just praying when I was walking down the aisle that I wasn't going to trip and fall, because one of the girls almost fell down the stairs, but we were like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
And then I'm so having an illusion of you being in that spot. And Leah, I'm so proud of you for getting down the aisle.
I know, right? Because, I mean, I
Yes.
normally don't wear those high toes, whatever they're called.
Yes.
But,
And they got the space in the back of the heel because your foot slips down in it and they end up being too big. They slip up and down.
yes. And we danced, you know how to do the mother-son dance.
I would have quit then.
My son, he loves old music. It's like my mama's music. It's not like
Really?
Beatles. It is like Frank Sinatra. I can't sing, but I can dance. Now, to widows, but I let him pick out the song because, you know, he likes the older music.
Videos of that?
Oh, yeah. I had on that beautiful dress. It was vintage. It was from the 60s. But anyway, I got out there and danced with him, and I was just praying like fall or something. I didn't. I did good. And the song was that song, I Love You, Baby.
Movie is that off of?
Frankie Valli, and it was the Four Seasons. It starts off, you're just too good to be true. And we were slow dancing, and then it was like, I love you. And then I'm like, we
And where are you around?
Yes, and we were twirling, and it was so much fun. I was in the spotlight at my son's wedding, even though he was in the spotlight. But I felt like when he started
Who
twirling,
was twirling you around?
he twirled me around, girl.
Brand did?
Yes. Katie made him take dancing lessons before the wedding.
To go about that. You didn't take no dance lessons.
Well, Eddie and I took one time, but then after the first lesson, he quit.
You are always the person that no matter what predicament you get into, you can play the part. That's the way
right.
you are. That's the reason why you're so gifted in the storytelling. It's because you can believe everything you do is so believable.
Okay, remember our last episode? I said I'm going to tell a story that.
Tell one for the good night story.
And I'm going to just do a test on this.
Absent for 1 second because my dogs want to go out. This is real. So I got to go let them out so they don't pee on my floor. I'll be right back, but y'all just keep on talking because I can hear you on my ear pods.
The name of the story is The Ghost with the One Black Eye.
Okay.
Okay. So, once upon a time, there was a family. There was the mom, the dad, the brother, and the baby girl's sister. Now, they just called her baby girl. That was her nickname. But one day, when the brother got home from school, he got off the bus. He would always come in and have his snack at the kitchen table. And then his mother would say, do your homework. And she would usually be over there cooking. Now, that night, she was cooking some fried chicken. If you like fried chicken, go, Baby girl was sitting in her high chair. Mama had given her some Cheerios and some apple juice in her sippy cup. She loved apple juice. It was her favorite drink. She ran out of the apple juice, so she started beating her cup on her high chair, saying, juice, juice, juice. Then, so Mama was cooking the chicken. She opened the refrigerator, and the apple juice was gone. So she told her son. She said, son, go down there in the basement and get baby girl some more apple juice, because she had a shelf down there where she kept paper towels and sodas and apple juice. He went down those stairs. He counted them. It was 13. He got down to the bottom of the stairs, apple juice on the shelves. He reached for that apple juice. Then all of a sudden, something grabbed his arm, and it said, the ghost with the one black. He running up the stairs as fast as he could, and he was all out of breath. He's like, Mama, there's a ghost in the basement. She said, I told you there is no such thing as ghosts. I wish you could go get your sister some juice. Well, about that time, Daddy walked in the door. Baby girl was in a fit. Gee, gee. Well, Mama was frying the chicken, and you know, if you cut your chicken off, it's not going to taste right. She told her,
cut it off.
He said, what's wrong with my baby girl? She wants some juice, and your son is too scared to go down in the basement and get her some. He said, I'll go get baby girl some juice. So he goes down those stairs, and when he's reaching for that apple juice on the shelves, something grabbed his arm, and it said, I am the ghost with the one black eye. So he ran up the stairs and he was huffing and puffing. And she said, what is wrong? He said, there is a ghost down in the basement. She said, I cannot believe this. Y'all are being so silly. I finally got my chicken fried. I'm going to go down there and get it myself. And when she got to the shelf, and it said, say it with me,
I'm the ghost of one black eye.
Took off running up those stairs as fast as she could. She's like, I'm sorry, y'all were right. It is a ghost in the basement. What should we do? Should we call Ghostbusters? Should we call 911? What? And so they were like in a huddle. And I tell them, like make a connection to a football huddle. What should we do? Well, when she came back up there, she didn't shut that door all the way. And baby girl was tired of waiting on that juice. So that little girl crawled out of her high chair.
No,
She crawled
get my
back.
anxiety up.
She crawled backwards down those stairs, and that little bitty hand went to the shelf and reached for that apple juice. And that ghost said,
I'm the ghost
with
of one black eye.
She said,
If you don't leave me and my family alone, you're going to be the ghost with two black eyes.
that ghost was never seen or heard of again.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you make that up just saying, hey, bleep, bleep?
Well,
How did you come up with that?
I heard it a long time ago, but I I added to it about fried chicken.
I know.
Read a book or something.
But it made it more like I paid attention.
Okay.
You keep my attention and stuff like this.
Do you think you could
I
retell?
love hearing that story. Yeah, I could tell it.
If you have stayed to this part of our podcast,
Hey, and please forgive us. We just want to make everybody happy,
Yeah.
and
wow,
have a good time.
tell that story. I used to tell the kids, one day you're going to go to a spend the night party and they're going to be telling ghost stories. And I said, you can tell this one. And then it's scary at the beginning, but it's not so scary at the end. So that's why I call it Not So Scary, Scary Story. We love y'all. If you made it this far, like and follow our page. Oh, I forgot our sponsor break. Well,
I think you can add it in right before we get off.
this episode was sponsored by Leah Thaggart Swimming Lessons, Safety Before Swimming.
She teaches better than anybody else I know of.
Motto.
Wait, so we still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love others and
Be kind.
always. Bye, guys.
Always. Bye. Bye, y'all.